On this episode of The Amish, we follow the Supreme Court case of Wisconsin v. Yoder. Our story starts with a young Amish 8th grader. Despite his incredible fashion, our protagonist didn't quite fit in.
Oh, the Amish boy? Yeah, he's pretty weird. I mean, his lunches are always interesting.
Wait, son, we cannot have you graduate. Please, we'll be giving him an education of our own. The subjects you teach wouldn't help our child. He needs to learn how to churn his butter, not learn about math.
Yeah, I'd really like to learn how to make my own clothes.
Unfortunately, Mr. and Mrs. Yoder, it's the law for your son to go to school until the age of 16. My hands are tied.
We are tired of the secular education interfering with our religious practices.
We're gonna bring this to the courts.
To be Amish, I'd rather just be churning butter.
All rise. You may be seated.
The question on the table today: did Wisconsin's requirement that all parents send their children to school at least until the age of 16 violate the First Amendment by criminalizing the conduct of parents who refuse to send their children to school for religious reasons?
Your Honors, I'm here to speak on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Yoder and their Amish peers. We believe that their rights have been fundamentally violated and their First Amendment constitutional rights are not being allowed. Their son has graduated the 8th grade and his parents do not want to send him to pursue a secondary school education. He has graduated the 8th grade and is almost 16, and you'll hear testimony today from a reputable doctor who says that the Amish train their own children and give them an education of their own. Therefore, the court should honor the parents' First Amendment rights and not force them to send their son to a secondary school.
The state of Wisconsin fundamentally disagrees with this argument, as we believe that the freedom to act may be restricted in interpretation of the First Amendment, but the freedom to believe may not. We can look to the case of Reynolds v. U.S., in which this court ruled that Reynolds could not take multiple wives. He was allowed to continue to be Mormon, but not act in a way that went against our laws. Therefore, this case should be decided in a similar way, in favor of the state.
Your Honors, we disagree. The Amish have been a respected religious sect that have demonstrated time and time again the importance of intertwining their way of life with their religious practices. The enforcement of these outdated laws the opposition talks about would be a fundamental attack on their religious views and beliefs. The government was made to protect these kind of beliefs and should honor and respect the Amish's wishes, such as their child being allowed to not go to secondary school. In addition, there have been many exceptions in these laws which allow a child to skip secondary school if they are deemed to have a proper education anyway. As we said, you will hear testimonies today from a reputable doctor that shows that the Amish do provide this education, and therefore the Amish should not have to send their children to secondary school. Yeah, it's going great. There's no way we lose this thing. Our whole argument's about the Constitution, and these guys over here, they eat that up. We're winning.
All of the Supreme Court judges voted unanimously in favor of the Yoders because we believe that the state's interest in children going to school beyond the 8th grade is outweighed by one of the most important rights that we have in this country, the freedom to express religion. If the Amish feel that it is their religious right to provide their own education to their children, we cannot take that away from them.
Why did I partially dissent? Well, I agree with the court that the religious practices of the Amish are opposed to the education of their children beyond the grade schools. Yet I disagree with the court's conclusion that the matter is within the suspension of the parents alone. The kids should also have a choice in the matter. They have a voice too. We're so happy that our son finally gets to return to the farm. We're going to teach him real things that kids actually need to know, like how to churn butter, sew your own clothes, and plant crops. This algebra thing is ridiculous.